What's going on, guys? On this beautiful Monday, Bitcoin is pumping as expected, but I also gave you a warning what is potentially happening afterwards. I will show you today why I still expect a short squeeze into higher levels before we potentially get a small correction. If you want to know where we are going and how my trade's actually looking right now, then don't miss out on this episode and let's go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Tuesday. Once again, guys, we are going directly into the charts here. The DXY is going to the downside. We were yesterday expecting that. I told you guys expect for this week the DXY to come back here into lower levels, back below 103 points. Once we are below 103 points, you're going to get a bigger crash move to the downside. That will give a huge relief to Bitcoin, back to the upside, and also to major altcoins. But this, in my opinion, will still happen more by the end of this week, actually. Sorry, by the coming weekend. I expect this to be happening close to the weekend. And by tomorrow, after tomorrow, I expect that we are going to see potentially a small correction. So, but when we're looking here at, for example, my PIONEX bot is starting to print, guys. So if you are already on PIONEX, have signed up there and followed the bot, you are also right now in profit here. I have now totally invested $5,000 of the $10,000. We have here over 100% APY over a whole year. So if you would follow the bot for a whole year, you would make over 100% with the current state of the market. And I'm here up almost on my investment 4% right now. On the PIONEX bot. Again, guys, if you want to use my strategy and want to use PIONEX, just go in the description in the pinned comment below. There is a link where you can directly follow the strategy and also sign up and get up to $1,000 here just for signing up and complete some simple tasks here. You're going to get to the same page when you click the link, so go and check that out. Now, when we're going into the Bitcoin chart here, so on the daily chart, we are now breaking above the downward sloping trend line, which is the first sign that we are now moving out of the deviation phase that we had here. And the final confirmation will come when we break $89,550 approximately. So, but here is the problem that I see with that when we go into the next chart. So first of all, good sign that we are above the 200 moving average, really good. But when we are running here into the $89,500 and $90,500 level, I expect from the rejection back most likely here to like $85,000, $86,000, $87,000, something in that range, for a really simple reason. The stochastic, as I mentioned yesterday, is way too high on the daily chart. The MACD is looking good, the RSI is looking good, but the RSI will be tomorrow close to 63%. And also then usually when we get into these kind of levels, there is not much more steam left for Bitcoin to go higher. So the best case scenario that I see here for the next coming days until like Thursday, Friday, is that Bitcoin tries to go up here, comes back down, and just goes sideways at current price levels. That is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is we come up here, $89,000, $90,000, come back down to 86, 85, go sideways down a little bit, go up in the following week. So this is what I'm seeing right now on the higher time frames. Now when we go into the 12-hourly time frame, things looking here a little bit better because we have now reclaimed the EMA ribbon. We are on top of it. And I don't believe, even if we start turning around here again, that we are losing the mid-range of the EMA ribbon. Even though we potentially get here, that will be absolutely fine. And also here you see, if we run here up on the VPVR into the $90,000 level, we would almost tap here the lower end of the big resistance cluster, and we would get prematurely rejected from that, in my opinion. So there is a little bit more juice for Bitcoin to go higher, but I want to warn you guys here, expect that we are turning around one more time, just a little bit, and then finally get continuation. And that short squeeze in the next 24 hours, most likely that's when it's going to happen, will get us up here to $89,000, $90,000. I'm going to show you in a moment from where that short squeeze is coming. So, but when we're looking here, the indicators on the 12-hourly chart, here we have, okay, now in 34 minutes, we are going to reach the top of the stochastic RSI, which will most likely lead to that we need in the next 12 hours actually to move here all the way up to the resistance. and then start turning around. The MACD is bullish, RSI also bullish, but is already at 63%, so we might go a little bit higher to like 68, 70%, which is usually also on the 12-hourly chart a level where we are rolling over and price either starts to trade sideways or comes back to the downside. So we can also have a quick look here, the Fibonacci levels here. So also here you see we are running right now into the golden ratio of $88,000, $89,100. That is most likely the area where Bitcoin gets rejected. We can get a wick above that level, like I said, into $90,000. But I believe that we are turning around, not holding the golden ratio, come back into the mid-range of the EMA ribbon, then turn around, then go up and break through this and go higher. That would make a lot of sense from a technical perspective right now. Regardless, our trades here also on ZoomX, they are just printing, guys. I gave them absolutely for free. Just want to remind you guys, I give you a lot of trades here absolutely for free here. This trade was given like 6 days ago, I think. The Ethereum trade here now up almost, over $13,000, 120% in profit. And I bank that profit in Ethereum. So that means if Ethereum goes higher, I will make more money by holding Ethereum. So here also Bitcoin almost up $5,000 in profit, 180%, guys. Again, if you want to trade with me on ZoomX, guys, the best non-KYC exchange, there is a link in the pinned comment and in the description if you want to use this exchange. Again, there's a lot of stuff coming with ZoomX, so make sure that you have actually an account there. On the 4-hourly chart, happened exactly what I predicted yesterday, and that was that we need to get a breakout really soon out of that ascending triangle, which then also happened. We are also above the prior high here from that fake out, which is a good sign. Now we need a little bit more follow through. And here also on the 4-hourly chart, you can see that here on the Fibonacci levels, most likely $89,100 is where we are going to stop. Otherwise, it will be $89,900 on the 4-hourly chart. So, but there is still a little bit room to reach these levels here before we are coming back down. On the reactor indicator, we get a first early warning sign here with the dot plot that we are potentially running here into a reversal. And also on the gradients, and not to forget, we are running hot here. We are in a red phase. We can stay in a red phase for quite a while, but not too long. I can show that here, over here somewhere, we had a really extensive red phase. Look here, over there. So here we had, that is potentially 2 days. 2 days of running hot before we actually turn around again. So it can be an extensive phase, but I don't believe that this is happening right now for Bitcoin, where we get an extensive phase and it just keeps here going higher like this, you know, and then here somewhere it crashes again. I don't see that happening right now like this. I see it more happening going up here, running hot, coming back down, you know, so here into these levels, and then going back up. Nothing has changed there. Regardless of that, want to remind you the technical target, if I remember correctly, was $91,600 approximately. Yeah, 91,000. So here we're a breakout. $91,888 actually. So that is the technical target of that ascending triangle. So if you're in that trade, perfect, let it run. If you're not in that trade, wait for the price to retest or get close to the retest. Yeah, basically $86,000. Just wait for $86,000. Then you can enter that a little bit above the original entry of that neckline, and then trade this all the way up to like $92,000 approximately. Also, the falling wedge pattern is definitely now a confirmed breakout here. As we can see, we are trying to get above that horizontal level here, where we're currently getting rejected. Once we're getting above that, we initiate then the short squeeze that will get us to like $91,000. There is again a big major resistance. Once we're getting above that resistance, we're going for $95,000. So, but take it level by level. And right now, I would also start taking, if you're in any Bitcoin trade that I had given, guys, start taking a little bit of profit and set your stop losses to your entries, guys, just to protect your money and your position, and that you actually paid a little bit yourself. On the liquidation levels, we have already cleaned up the majority of the high leverage liquidity that was on the short side. Price tries also here on the 4-hourly chart to stay above the 200 moving average. The 50 moving average is shaping up here to the upside. If we keep that trajectory, then by Saturday, Sunday, we're going to get the golden cross. I want to remind you guys, once we are getting the golden cross, we will be somewhere between $92,000 and $95,000, so a little bit lower here. So that will be the range where price will be most likely. when we're getting the golden cross. I'm not saying that we're going to stay there, because usually what happens is you will get the golden cross, price is somewhere up here, then shortly after the golden cross, price comes back down a little bit, goes sideways, bull flag or whatever, falling wedge, then goes into higher levels. So just something to be prepared for. So what I don't believe is that we come down here, like I mentioned yesterday, that we take out here the high leveraged long liquidity. Here, $84,400, maybe that would be like really the worst case that I see where we can come back down to. But here, these two levels, I don't believe that we will come back down there. Not gonna happen in my opinion. Also on the liquidation heat map, here you can clearly see that we are starting to eat here into the high concentrated liquidity areas. Here is over $100 million worth of liquidations at $88,000. Once we're tapping into that, that will definitely create a short squeeze into the 90 or close to the $90,000 level. But as you can see, above there is currently not a lot. Okay, if I go to the monthly, there we see a little bit. But here you see, in my opinion, one of the rejection zones, $91,300. There is some liquidity concentrated. That could be one of the rejection points where we come back down, find momentum, and then go here all the way up into the super high concentrated liquidity areas where we have the majority of the shorts sitting right now here at $95,400 all the way up to $98,000. Now, when we start to talk about altcoins, guys, don't forget, most of the altcoins that I personally trade are traded on a Bybit. I'm gonna show you also a new trade that I have set up. It is currently underwater, I think. Yeah, so it is a little bit underwater, but it's fine. So it is a link trade. I trade directly natively in link. So I'm down 7 link right now, which is like $100-ish. So it's not that crazy. But I'm gonna hold that trade for a moment. I'm gonna show you actually in a second the setup for that trade. So if you want to trade trades like this with me together, guys, go to Bybit, sign up there. You still get up to $30,000 in bonuses for signing up, plus a Bybit card if you're eligible for the Bybit card, plus get invited to exclusive events like Formula One and stuff like that. Super amazing, guys. So make use of that with the link in the pin comment below and the description. And I will also give again $500 away to potentially multiple people, not only one, this weekend. If you sign up and deposit at least $100, then on Sunday I gonna pull everybody that is eligible, or one guy or multiple guys that are eligible to win here $500, guys. But you need a Bybit account with at least $100, guys. That is the rule of the game. So now when we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance, the Bitcoin dominance is starting to break down here a little bit again. Altcoins having a really fun day today. I saw some coins doing 20, 15, 11, 12% today, which is amazing. But we need here some follow through. I hope tomorrow we're gonna get that all the way down here to like 60%. That will lead to a massive move in altcoins. And at the same time, Bitcoin does either nothing or goes up. I don't really care, or runs in circles. But what I don't want is Bitcoin starting tomorrow to go down while the dominance is breaking down, because then dominance will turn around again to the upside. So I want a really nice candle to the downside tomorrow. On Wednesday, we will come back up again a little bit. And then into the weekend, we should start to break into lower levels. So that is at least what I see here currently unfolding and most likely playing out for the Bitcoin dominance. So total free market cap also currently testing the downward sloping trend line, which is amazing. And the horizontal level here also at $836 billion. Remember how I mentioned to you guys that can happen really quickly? Now you see it actually happening with your own eyes. Once we're breaking through that level, expect that the total free market cap will accelerate and pump to the upside in direction of $900 billion, which will lead again to a massive price increase across most of all altcoins out there, at least the majority of it. When we're going into Ethereum, our Ethereum trade is doing pretty well right now. That I had given you guys, you had the chance to enter this yesterday. You would be up now almost 5% here, 4.6%. But I also need to warn you here, guys, once again, we are running here soon into the resistance on the VPVR from $2,175 to $2,217 approximately. Expect around this level a small correction. Also here is a horizontal level that is giving us resistance around that area. So what I would do is I would start taking a little bit profit off the table at that moment and set my stop loss at my entry price or slightly above the entry price, because you made an already almost 9% when we get up here. So take a little bit off the table, you know, plus leverage, whatever you use. 5x leverage would be almost 50%. So 45%. So take a little bit money off the table and set your stop loss to your entry and let it continue to ride it to the upside, because I believe next week we are going to hit $2,350 where we have then concluded the trade. But in the meantime, we will definitely turn around here at that resistance. You only need to look here on the stochastic RSI and at the RSI, how high both of them are here and how they are shaping up. This is not good. And on the daily chart, it looks similar. Yeah, so only the RSI and the MACD has here more room. But the RSI, yeah, can flatline a couple of days if it really wants to, but then by the weekend would turn around and let then for like 2-3 days everything cool down and have then momentum to go back to the upside, then running now hot and then have another week of downside, you know, or sideways downside movement. So it would be way healthier to get this right now than later. Also Solana is so close to our take profit, it is already insane. Also here I recommend you to start taking profit, because we're hitting now here a big resistance level with a lot of sell orders. So you should start taking profit here around these levels, because from our entry from yesterday, we are up currently almost 9%, you know, so we are actually up almost 9%. Again, 5x leverage, almost 45%. It's time to take some money off the table, guys, you know. So I'm not saying close the trade, let it run, because there's still 8% left to the upside, but take some money off the table, set your stop loss, and I'm gonna give you a new trade. Once we are breaking here that horizontal level of $145 approximately, and the indicators have cooled a little bit down. So I also gonna give you 3 other coins. One of them is AVAX. So AVAX, when I look on a daily chart, most likely going to stop at $22.57. That was in the past also always a crucial resistance area. So we're not far away from that. So that would be another 3% that we can go up here. Once it turns around and comes down, it will go down to around $20. So, and that is right now 5-6%. Yeah, so that's roughly an 11% move to the downside in a worst case. So I would layer my orders here in that scenario. So what I would do is I would start layering them from 21.30, then 21, 28, 20.85, all the way down to like $20. So 4 orders, each with 20% of the money that you want to put in. Everything that gets hit is what you're going to take. I don't believe that it goes lower. Most likely it might already stop here at like $20.50 or something, or $20.70. And when it turns around and breaks $20.57, and you have still money left, that's where you're going to add it all the way up to $23.40, and then you let it run to like $36. So that is the next trade setup that I'm giving you guys here. So let's say from here all the way up here. So and that is a crazy trade, guys, you know. So that's a 74% trade with a 12.6% stop loss. So risk to reward ratio is really good here. And I can tell you AVAX can make these moves really, really quickly in a matter of a week. I have seen it many, many times where we got moves like this just within a week. We just broke the falling wedge pattern, and actually the target would be all the way out at $54, but this will take some time, guys. I don't expect that to be happening in a matter of like 2-3 weeks, you know. So that might take some time, because it's over 100% move here from current more or less levels. That would be like 170% move to the upside. So that is not happening overnight. So the next one is Link. Like I said, I'm in a Link trade right now. I'm taking personally, because it's a short-term trade, I'm gonna take profit here at the 50 moving average in orange. The 200 is in blue, the 100 is in yellow. So between the 50 and the 200 and that red box here, somewhere in between here, we're gonna top out by tomorrow, after tomorrow, rolling over, coming back, most likely just below $15, then turn around and continue to go higher. So if you want to trade this with me together, that is a scalp trade, guys. It's a quick trade from current levels. Really quick here, quick 7%. Out of it, you can use 5x leverage if you want. My stop loss is here is actually pretty low, because I'm using only, I think, 3x leverage or 6x leverage. I forgot to look now, but 3 or 6x. My stop loss, no, 4x, sorry, 4x leverage. That's what I use. My stop loss is at $12.48, and you can see it is pretty low, you know. So I'm down here with my stop loss. Look where the price is. I don't believe that by tomorrow, after tomorrow, we're going to see something like this here, especially when we're trying to break such a crucial resistance like right now. It's going to be broken, guys, in the next couple of days, and then you're going to see price continuously moving to the upside. The same goes for XRP. Once XRP breaks the $2.48, expect that we get a bigger move here to like $2.65 and into the golden ratio. We are above the EMA ribbon. It is also contracting, which is a sign that there's more upwards pressure coming. But again, the indicator showing here also that we have maybe 36 hours left before we are getting a halt with either sideways movement or a small correction before we get a continuation move to the upside. So here, I would potentially wait for that rejection move to the downside, and wherever it's going to stop, you're going to see it and get in from there, because you know, okay, from there, we are now continuing to go to the upside. Why would you risk to enter now to maybe get 2, 3, 4%? You know, if you can have instead, if you wait here for that break, if you can have it instead 14 to 16%, you know, it makes no sense in the meantime to try to catch here 4% when the indicator is definitely telling you that it's time to roll over a little bit and go sideways or sideways down. But I also don't want to ignore all the bullish signs. You know, we broke this downward sloping trend line, prices above the EMA ribbon, and the RSI still has some room here to actually go higher. So I don't want to ignore that, but still the warning signs are there, and I personally like to be a little bit more cautious right now than burning through money. You know, you want to preserve your capital as much as you can so that you can always reinvest. And guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you again with more money tomorrow.